Hi, I'm Sana Badri. I'm here with A.B.S. at DIY Cultures 2016. I'm here with the founders of DIY Cultures, Sofia, Niazi and Helena, and we're just going to have a quick chat to talk about the overview of the event, the philosophy of it and how it came about. So Sofia, if you'd like to start, how did you set up the event?
We started DIY Cultures in 2013 and we've been going since then, so this is the fourth one we've had, and it's really a celebration of independent publishing and grassroots arts. You know, it's like we feel like it's an entry into the art world without going through like a BA in fine art or anything like that, so that's kind of the ethos behind it.
And how did you get together to start up the event? Where did you meet?
We met in Tooting Zine Fair, so Hamza and Sofia started Tooting Zine Fair together, and then we decided we wanted to do more, so we created DIY Cultures, and we invited lots of zine makers of different sort of ethnicities and different sort of viewpoints to come and be part of it. And also we wanted to include lots of art and film, so that's why we kind of started the whole thing.
Okay, so from meeting each other at the zine fair that you were talking about, how did the first event come about? How did that manifest itself?
Well, I guess I've been making zines for a really long time, and I know Hamza has as well, so we really frequent a lot of different zine fairs, and so we had a rough idea about how it works from an organisational point of view, and Hamza has done a lot of events at the Rich Mix, so we kind of got the venue, and then it was doing an open call out, finding out who else was interested in being involved, and it kind of just went from there.
Yeah, I think the thing about DIY Cultures is we were very interested in presenting alternatives and having a democratic entry into art making. So I think when we made the festival, one of the things we thought was really interesting was to introduce new voices which previously hadn't been heard. So that was a major part of it for us as well, both within debate, within sort of critical debate in the talks, and also within the art and the films and the exhibitions.
Okay, so you touched on it there with new voices and debate in art and film. What do you think people can expect from coming to a DIY Cultures fair?
I think they can expect to find a lot of variety in terms of the content of zines and the publications here. But more generally, they can just come to an event and meet new people and hang out, and there's a lot of socializing that happens. I mean, one of the things that exhibitors say to me is that they make friends here who they continue to like stay in contact with and stuff, which is really nice.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point that Sofia makes, is oftentimes people don't have an outlet to actually say what they want, but when they come to DIY Cultures, they find an outlet and they meet other people who are of like mind, and then they come together and form collectives. Also the workshops as well. The workshops are a lot of fun. You can have things which range from talking about the issues with Prevent, which is a major government initiative which has ramifications upon Islamophobia, to doing things like making edible books. So there's like the whole spectrum, the whole range of some crafty but more serious topics as well.
And what would you say your governing ethos is for DIY Cultures?
Do it yourself. Yeah, really just to get people, just make it really easy for people to be involved in arts and to be creative and to have kind of like an instant audience, not have to like work really hard to find people to share your work with.
Yeah, I think it's all about collaboration really, sort of meeting new people who might have similar interests and collaborating and creating something new, and then just getting it out there, putting it out into the world. And I think DIY Cultures is one of the places where you can do that safely, and it's a lot of fun too.
Okay, so I'm here with Divya Osbon now. She's the curator of the DIY Riso exhibition downstairs, and she co-curated it with Rose Nordin. Divya, if you'd like to just give us a little introduction into what the exhibition's about.
So the DIY Riso exhibition is taking place on the mezzanine level, and I'm kind of loosely involved with and sort of part of their wider circle of people who make things, and they asked me to help curate it because I know quite a bit about risograph printers because I had one for a little bit, and Rose and I did 2 parts to it. There was a submission, so we asked people to submit their artwork and then we printed it for them. And we also asked people to send us existing zines. And so we put them together and we kind of made a structure that we thought would like show them properly. And it's kind of part of the wider Radical Libraries exhibition, which is taking place downstairs.
Okay, so Rhizo is obviously quite an old style of printing. So could you like tell the viewers about what it actually is and why you chose it?
So it's kind of relatively old. It's been around since the 80s, I think. I think Rhisograph, the company, is a Japanese company, and it's a little bit, I describe it as like a mechanical screen printer. It looks a bit like a photocopier. It's really clunky and big, and you put in different colours, and then you pass through paper, and it kind of like takes off the image from a drum and chucks it out. So you can print like a lot really cheaply, and it produces a really nice effect, which is sort of like layered up, and the colours kind of shift a bit, and you can sort of like layer up colours to get other colours. It looks a bit like screen printing because it's got tiny little dots, and that's the sort of basics of it. Yeah, it's good for like low run print jobs like zines and things. That's why it's kind of quite popular in this sort of setting.
Okay, so printing in that way now, when everything is so easily made and produced and distributed digitally, obviously like it seems like it's quite inconvenient. So why do you think it's important to print?
You look around and there's like so much amazing work here people are doing, and I'm sort of in awe doing that exhibition of things that people sent us. Spent so long on it, and they're so beautiful, and they're obviously so thought about. I guess it's like a hunger to have your artwork real rather than just digital. And something about the paper and the smell of it I think that's sort of like universal. I've only sort of known about zines for a few years, but it's the idea of like you've got them in your bookshelf and then someone else might see that, and it's kind of like there's really interesting like networks of how people come across things, whereas it's a bit different on the internet, I guess.
I'm here with Swanzy, the founder of the Zine Femme, and we're just going to have a chat and talk about how the whole magazine came about, the zine, came about, and the concept behind it. So do you want to start us off with the concept? Like, what's it all about?
So Femme, it started as a blog initially until 2013, and it became a physical newspaper. I used it as a platform just to celebrate like raw, honest storytelling. People were sending me submissions online, and I just was so happy with what people were saying and how they were expressing themselves that I chose to invest in printing it.
So how did you go about printing the first issue? Like, how did you get it all together and get it printed?
Yes. How I was able to manifest it into a real thing is just because I just believed so much in the stories and getting their voices out there. So I guess the passion helped make it happen. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been a thing. Like, it wouldn't have existed.
Yes, your passion made it all come true.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I fund it myself, so in order for me to put money in it, I have to believe in it, because like, who's got money to spare just to be doing something for no reason? Like, so I guess, yeah, definitely 100% passion and just having that ethic to just do it yourself and not rely on like someone else. Like, people previously asked me to like advertise in it, but there's no place for it in my newspaper, or to like ask for funding, but I'm gonna do it regardless of whether I get money or not, so I might as well just do it myself anyway, so I just do, yeah.
And what would you say the driving philosophy is behind your zine and the ethos behind it?
I guess because, like, as I said, like, it started obviously as a blog and people were just all over the globe. So I guess for me, like, the reason why I do it and what guides it is just the fact that globally, like, people of colour, women of colour, their voices aren't often heard. So I guess, like, that is the guiding philosophy. It's like people that feel like they are not able to express themselves or to get their voice out there. My newspaper is for them to take up space and just to be like, this is how I feel, I'm here, you know? So that's definitely the guiding philosophy or force behind it. And that's why I feel like it's so important, because otherwise their story will not be heard and they will not feel like how they feel is valid. but their story is valid. It's just obviously how, you know, like industries work, how like capitalism works. All of these things are tied into to what we value and what we deem as important.
You were talking about how Road Femme is basically a platform for women of colour to get their voices heard, and that ties us into like this event and DIY cultures. And how do you think this platform provides you with a voice to make your publication and what you have to say heard?
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm so happy. So big up one of my clients, big up DIY Cultures, big up everybody that Rich Mix for letting you guys use this amazing space. But this was my first time doing it here. And like it's been so good. Like I've literally sold out everything that I brought today within 4 hours, which like that's the biggest I've ever done in a fair or a festival. So I'm so grateful and blessed for that. Doing anything DIY, the challenges are hustle. Like it's just a hustle to shift your stuff. But I guess for Road Femme, because it is global and the contributions come from different places, it's like word of mouth. So like, let's just say someone in Australia is in it, they tell their friends I'm in this newspaper, and then suddenly I get orders to go to Australia. So I guess that's how I distribute it. Like I'm the main source. Like I am stocked in like libraries, or like they're collecting the archive, just because I feel like it's important for us to save these things, and like anything that has like a DIY or punk ethic of doing it yourself. I think it's important for like the younger generation and youth to literally get that vibe, because obviously like this stuff is quite niche compared to like what mainstream society is looking at, what we should be aspiring to be doing and saying and feeling. So definitely, I mean, yeah, I'm very DIY in that sense, which is why I'm so happy that I'm here today, and it went well, so I can't really ask for anything else. I'm grateful.
So this has been DIY Cultures 2016, the independent zine fair. It's been an amazing day full of workshops and amazing different zines and publications. Lots of people to meet. Check them out on Twitter and Tumblr to see all of the amazing work they're doing. This has been Sana Badri for A.B.S.